Hello and welcome to another episode of the DeHart House podcast. My name is Alicia and I'm coming to you from Texas, where I live with my husband and my dog, whose name is Marjorie, and she's a 2-year-old black Labrador who might start barking in the background at any moment because the neighbors are moving something. Okay, fair warning. Today is January something, the 3rd. January 3rd of 2019. Happy New Year! Oh my goodness. It's another year. It's insane. Anyway, I did post a separate year in review episode where I announced winners for the various knit-alongs that I was hosting, and also talked about things that I knit in 2018. So if you're interested, check out that separate episode. This is going to be more like a regular episode. So if you're a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. So what is going on? I cleaned my craft room. Look at, there's a floor in here. Okay. Seriously though, Christmas is over, New Year's is over, and it is purge time. Just let's clean everything. So that's what we've been doing. Even later today, I plan on getting a haircut to tame this mane. So hopefully I can get that done today. I tried to make an appointment this morning and there was only one lady working and she seemed really busy. So I'm going to try calling later. Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to a haircut because I don't get them very often. I get my hair cut and then I just let it grow. But my hair is thick and heavy and I just can't get any volume up here because I have all this weight. This is not a hair podcast. Goodness sakes. This is a knitting podcast. All right, guys. I am just so happy the holidays are over because there's always this huge lead up and then, yay, back to normal. Yeah, so it's back to work time, back to getting ready for another semester and planning all the knitting and everything like that. So let's talk about crafty stuff. So, let me start with what is new in the Etsy shop, because it's sitting right there and I can't wait to cast it on. It's yarn. Okay, so first of all, DeHart House Creations on Etsy is my shop where you can find handmade bags and hand-dyed yarn. I'm kind of moving more into the yarn and less into the bags. Just because yarn is so fun. Yarn is so fun. Anyway, so you can find the shop there. You can also follow any news and updates about the shop on Instagram, and that account is at DeHart House. So I did post a picture on Instagram of some new self-striping yarn that I dyed up. And it is a super bright, happy colorway because I need a little brightness and cheeriness in my life right now. So this is called Yellowstone. So Michael and Michael's my husband, we have been together now for, going on 6 years now? We tied the knot last year in July in 2018. So we're still newlyweds, but we have been together for a while. And we met in graduate school when we were living out in Montana, and we loved going camping together. And still do. I act like it's past tense. But we used to go to Yellowstone National Park quite often. So I am deciding to draw some inspiration from our national parks. So this colorway is called Yellowstone, And I'll be dyeing up some more self-striping yarn in the near future, based on other national parks as well. And I'm going to start with the ones that I've actually visited. Yellowstone National Park was the first one that Michael and I went to together, so here we go. So it is a 4-stripe sequence. It is yellow, orange, white, and gray, and the stripes do not appear in that order. So what I'm going to do is start knitting this up so that I can get a picture in the shop of the stripe sequence. So basically it will go yellow, white, orange, gray. Yellow, white, orange. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, so Yellowstone is in the shop and available for order. You can decide whether you want your skein to be balled up in a gobstopper ball like this, where I wind it up so that you can see all the pretty colors, and you'll get the ball in the mail just like this, and you can start knitting it right away. This is a full 100 gram skein. This is on my classic base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's currently the only base that I'm carrying right now. I'm looking forward to potentially carrying more bases in the future. But for now, this is the ticket. Or instead of a gobstopper ball, you could get it just in a regular hank, which I don't really have one sitting here. I have a mini skein sitting here, but just wound up regular. So you get to decide which way you want to have it shipped. I like the gobstopper ball just because when you get it, you don't have to wind it, you guys. I have wound it for you, and you can just start knitting it right away, which is fun. Anyway, yes, I'm really excited to knit this one up, and now that I've shown it to you, I can start. I even have my needles sitting right here, ready to go. My ChowGoo size 0. Love it. Okay, so that's new in the shop, and that's all I have to say about that. Cool. So, if yarn dyeing and bag making wasn't enough, this girl also designs patterns. 'Cause she's not busy enough already. Okay. So I finished the cowl that I was designing that I showed you guys last time. Completely finished here. And this is using all of my yarn, DeHart House Creations. And these were a bunch of mini skeins that I had dyed up. We've got blueberries, cranberry, eggnog, dark chocolate, and evergreen. So very holiday themed. And I just kept the stitch patterns really simple. Knits, purls, and yarn overs, and a knit two together. And cast on and bind off. That's all you need to know. Yeah, so I finished it. I wove in all my ends. I totally played yarn chicken at the end. Guess how much yarn I had left over with the green, my last color. An inch. Like, no joke. An inch of yarn. Oh my gosh. There was no end to weave in. It was crazy. I almost ripped back a whole round just so that I wouldn't have to deal with. But I tied a knot, and I don't like to do that, but whatever. Anyway, yes, it's finished. It needs to be washed and blocked. Not that it really needs it, but I want to. I want to give it a good wash and a good block. And I will be writing this pattern up and posting that on Ravelry. So DeHart House Designs on Ravelry. I have some free patterns. I have some paid for patterns. hats, socks, shawls, cowls, mittens. Yeah, I do it all, you guys. Anyway, this is finished. I finished it shortly after the last episode, before we even left town to go see family. And I thought about giving this away as a Christmas present, and then I decided, no, I still need to take pictures and stuff, and it can wait until next year if I decide to give it away as a gift. So anyway, I'm really happy with it, and I can't wait to get that posted. But I'm having trouble with naming this pattern. There we go. So I don't know. Do you guys have any suggestions? So each color has a different pattern. And like I said, they're just really simple. I wanted this to be like a no-brainer, just easy repeats. And my lighting is just horrible. So okay, let's pause a second to talk about the weather. We got snow today. I live in Texas. We got snow today. What? Okay, it wasn't a lot. It was like a 1/4 inch. But still, there was snow on the ground this morning when I woke up, and I was super happy about it. The sun is out and super bright, and everything is melted now. But because the sun is out and super bright, I had to close my blinds. But it still looks like it's crazy bright. I've closed my blinds as much as I possibly can close them. And there's still a bunch of light coming in. Anyway, so I'm fighting that today. But yeah, I am struggling with what to name this pattern. So if you have any suggestions, you guys, comment below. And honestly, if someone comes up with a name that I like, I will give you this pattern for free. If I like your pattern name suggestion, I will reward you with a free pattern of this cowl. How does that sound? Yeah, I am blanking. I don't know what to call it. That usually doesn't happen. Anyway, I have another cowl, and I'm really happy about it. Okay, so that finishes that. Cool. What else have I finished? Let's just go in order. So I need these sock blockers. Hang on a moment. So I have a new sock pattern that's going to be coming out. And I just finished the second sock while we were visiting family. Yes, while we were on the road. We did a lot of driving. Texas is a big state, you guys. But yeah, I finished these while Michael did a lot of the driving. I did some of it, but he definitely did majority of the driving. So I was able to knit on the road. So I finished these socks. So this is a new design that is going to be coming out sometime this month in January. So I'll just stack them right now. So it's got some cabling detail, some lace. You can see the blue sock blocker through the sock. I did switch things up a little bit using some speckled yarn for the heel, toe, and cuff, and then just a solid yarn for the body of the sock. I think they look super snazzy. If I take one of these socks, and I like to use the leg part to show the front versus the back of the sock. Yeah, right? I mean, it's okay. It's bunched up down here, but anyway. So yeah, the front of the sock has the pattern. So you've got this nice lace detail running up the middle and then some cables on either side, and it's super stretchy. And then just plain stockinette all the way up the back, even the back of the leg. And I really like how the pattern runs into the ribbing. It makes me happy. Those little details. Anyway, so these socks will be coming out soon, the pattern. I have a few names in mind. I just have to pick one. So the yarn that I used was the main color here. This nice soft pink is called Petal, and that is a Cloudborne merino nylon yarn, so from Craftsy. And then the speckled yarn is from Teeny Button Studio, and that color is Sally's Pralines. So both yarns are 75/25 merino nylon. This pattern was designed toe up, which is not my usual, but that is the way I wanted the lace to go, and so that's what I did. Toe up isn't my jam because I can never seem to bind off loosely enough. So, yep, they're not the stretchiest at the top, but I tried really hard. It's just something I struggle with. I did use US size 1 needles, which is a 2.25 millimeter. That's my favorite size needle to use for socks. So yeah, you can see it does bunch up when I take it off the blocker, but that just means it's nice and stretchy. So when you put it on, it's going to fit your foot like a glove or like a sock. And the pattern is just going to look really awesome. This was leftover yarn from a shawl that I had knit, and I wanted to make socks because I liked the yarn combination so much. So yeah, I've been working on these for a little while and I finally finished them. I don't think I've shown them to you guys before, so I'm excited. I just need to type everything up. I took really good notes. And yeah, that'll be coming out soon. So when I release the pattern, I will announce that here on the podcast. And on Instagram and everywhere else. Okay, so then I also finished. Okay, so my mother-in-law, so Michael's mom, really likes my hand knit socks. And I don't know about you guys, but when someone really enjoys what I make them, and I spend a lot of time making it, I want to make them more things. It's what I've heard other people call knit-worthy. That person is knit-worthy because they love and appreciate what you make for them. So my mother-in-law is definitely extremely knit-worthy. So I gave her a pair of socks on Christmas. I gave her a pair of socks the previous Christmas, and she just really likes them. So when we got back from visiting family, Michael was like, you should really make her more socks, like not just one pair for the whole year. You're right. So I cast on and I'm finished. I'm finished. I knit these socks in 4 days, you guys. 4 days. So when my mother-in-law comes back through town on her way home, she's going to get a second pair of socks to take home with her. So, yeah. I knit these out of Premier yarns. The main color is called Violas, and then the heels and toes are just black. But they're both Premier yarns. The Violas is self-striping in various shades of purple. I knit these cuff down. Again, that's my favorite. I worked 3x1 rib all the way around the leg, and then continued that pattern down the top of the foot. I did a short row heel and just a standard toe. And yeah, they're completely finished, you guys. Ends woven in and everything, and I can't wait to give these to her. I think if she isn't watching this episode, that she's going to be pretty surprised. So I'm happy. I need to take pictures today before I give them to her. But yeah, this is my first finished object for 2019. It's the 3rd. It's the 3rd of January and I've already finished something. Yeah, I cast these on, I think, on the 30th. And then I finished them yesterday on the 2nd. So that's pretty awesome. So 3 finished objects, that's all I had. But that's okay. I have 1, 2, 3 more works in progress to show you. So I finished that pair of socks for my mother-in-law and then decided to cast another one on. Yeah. So this is the first sock. This is as far as I got. I started this last night and I decided to do a little bit of patterning here with some handmade stripes. So the main color here is some of my hand-dyed yarn. I dyed this up in 2017. Yeah. I think I dyed this up in 2017. But this is just some speckled yarn. Let's see if I can get the lighting. Kind of. But yeah. It's a speckled yarn, and I don't know what's going on with this ball. It's turning into a cone, but you can see it is white with blue and black speckles. So I'm using that same black Premier yarns up here with the stripes, and then I'm going to use the black again for the heel and toe. And I'm just doing plain stockinette this time. I did 2x2 rib at the top. And if you notice, the first stripe up here, maybe you can see, you get that, you don't get these clean stripes if you stripe in ribbing. So after that first stripe, I decided, okay, I need to do this technique where you get cleaner stripes. So hopefully you can see that. I know I'm being a little shaky here. But essentially what happens is when you switch to a new color, you're doing stripes in rib. So when you switch to a new color, you do 1 round of just knits, then continue your ribbing. And so every time you switch colors, you need to do just a plain round of knit. And then you get these cleaner edges on your stripes. Now, on the inside, it's not as clean. So I've just flipped the cuff down so you can see the back side. So you get to feel, though, on the inside, that garter ridge. And if it's knit on the outside, it's garter on the inside. Yeah, so we'll see how it feels when she's wearing it. But yeah, the first stripe, I didn't do it. That first color change. So it just feels like plain ribbing. But everywhere else, I did the plain knit round. So it's got this garter bump on the inside, which I can feel with my finger. So like I said, I'm not sure how Mary is going to like that. I didn't realize it would make that texture. I mean, now that I say it out loud, it's like, well, if you're knitting around, then it's garter on the inside. But anyway, I don't think she'll mind. I don't think she would say anything because she just really appreciates that I make these things for her, but you know, I don't want to make her something that's going to irritate her leg when she's wearing it, because something like that, I have sensitive skin, something like that might actually bother me. And so I guess I'm just more mindful of that. But anyway, I knit a pair of socks for myself out of this speckled yarn. So I weighed this and I had 42 grams left over. And these socks over here that I just finished, I used the entire 50-gram ball of the main color and then added 12 grams of contrast here for the heel and toe. So with only 42 grams, I was like, there's no way I can make, you know, the same sock. So what I did is on the cuff, I striped in the black to try to save me some of that yardage. So that hopefully 42 grams will be enough. Yeah, so we're going to see, and I keep weighing the yarn just to make sure if I need to add some stripes in before the toe, then I'll do that. And I'm just going to try, since there were 42 grams, I'm only going to use 21 in this first sock. So I have 21 left over for the second sock. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I'm excited. This is the first sock of the next pair. And so she's going to have some more socks this year, which is really neat. Okay. Oh, yes. I'm knitting these on my ChowGoo needles. I love ChowGoo needles. The cord is amazing with that metal inside there. These are US size 1. And I'm knitting the magic loop. I believe this is a 40-inch cable. Which is a bit excessive, but it's fine. Okay, so that covers that. This project I started, I need to make a page on Ravelry. I started this just so that I would have something to knit while I was on the treadmill. Because before I run on the treadmill, I walk to warm up. And while I'm walking, I need to be reading something or knitting or like I need something to make walking less boring. So I usually knit a sock. I cannot knit and run. It's just a recipe for me poking my eye out. So, but I can knit and walk. So I cast on a sock to knit on the treadmill, and I started these sometime in December. I haven't made a lot of progress. Like I said, I just walk to warm up, so I don't walk a whole lot, and I just knit a few rounds when I can. And this is basically just treadmill knitting. But this is Patton's Croy yarn. It's a self-striping pattern, and I think this colorway, the tag's in the other room, I think it's called Tourmaline Stripes, I believe. But we've got gray and like a teal, and is that it's like a purpley gray. It's in the heel. It's like a purpley gray. Anyway, so these are for me, and I like my socks to be kind of short, so I've just made it past the short row heel, and I'm on the foot now, so I can just knit in the round. And these I'm knitting. Whoa. I'm knitting this sock using two 16-inch circular needles. These are US size 1. Knitter's Pride Platina Nova. And I believe these are the first sock needles I bought for myself. And I still love them. They have a really great tip. They're just pointy enough, but not so pointy that I'm going to stab through my skin. If a knitting needle can pierce through my skin, I don't want it, because I use my finger to push the end of the needle all the time. But yeah, it's just the first sock. I haven't made it very far. There it is on the ball. Love Patton's Croy yarn. It wears so well, and it's very sturdy. Great stitch definition. I don't have problems with this yarn. It's amazing. It stands up to the way that Michael and I wear our socks. We are not delicate. We do a lot. We spend a lot of our day on our feet, walking around, and yeah, our socks take a beating. Okay, last work in progress is a pair of mittens. And did I have this finished last time? I finished one of the mittens. I don't know if I had it finished for you last time, but I finished one of the mittens, and I almost finished the second one. I need to do the thumb. So yeah, these are a pair of mittens that I'm designing, and they're so warm and cozy. And the sad thing is my engagement ring, okay, the diamond sticks up, right? And with color work, knitting, you've got all these strands on the inside, and my ring gets caught on them, which is really annoying. So I don't know what to do about that. But anyway, I'll flip this one inside out because it doesn't have the thumb. But wow, look at these floats, you guys. What? That looks so cool. I'm kind of new to color work, and it's one of those, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like an achievement. You know, it's one of those styles of knitting that draws you in, and you're like, oh, I want to knit because I want to make this beautiful thing. And then when you start to learn, you realize, okay, I need to lead up to that. I've been leading up to this, you guys. And color work is so much fun. It's so much fun. Anyway, I need to finish the thumb on the second mitten, and then transfer my hand-drawn chart to be a digital chart, and then send off this pattern to be test knit. So if you would also like to test knit these mittens, just send me a private message on Ravelry letting me know that you want to test knit these. Yeah, that means you would get the pattern for free. All right. Yeah, I love them. They're super cool and warm. So yeah, I just need to do the thumb. That's all I have. All right. So yeah, I think last time I showed these to you, I only had the one mitten, and now I have two. Almost. I used Knit Picks palette yarn, which is 100% Highland wool, I believe. It's a woolly wool, and it's wonderful and extremely affordable. And I actually ordered a little bit more because I need more contrast colors. I showed you guys a pair of mittens that I'd started for my sister. I ended up ripping them out because this silver gray and the blue that I was using, which was Whirlpool. So silver and Whirlpool, they didn't have enough contrast to really see the pattern. So I ripped them out, and then I started these. So yeah, I ordered some more Knit Picks palette so that I could get make more patterns that actually have contrast so you can see the pattern. Yeah, I have a lot of similar colors, and That's cool if you're doing a fade project, but that's not what I'm trying to do. So anyway, I love Knit Picks yarn. Like I said, it's extremely affordable. This is a hobby that can get really expensive really quickly. And any chance I have to save a few pennies, I will take it. So I'm not sponsored in any way, but I order quite a lot of yarn from them, and it's because I like it. Okay, so that covers knitting pretty much. Well, hang on. Oh, this is this year's bullet journal. I didn't bring in last year's. Last week, so the last week in December, I did add, I believe, 13 squares to my buffalo check blanket, which is pretty awesome. I just wanted to share that because I really want to finish a blanket this year, and I'm hoping it's that one. But yeah, I put 13 squares on, and I managed that with all the holiday stuff and travel. So basically we got back from visiting family, and I was in knitting limbo, like in between projects. I didn't want to start anything big, but I didn't want to finish these mittens for some reason. So I put a bunch of squares on the blanket, and that was nice. It's a good palette cleanser, which it's nice to have a project like that. Like, I'll just put on as many squares as I feel like until I have inspiration for my next project. So yeah. So a different craft that I'm working on, and I haven't shown this to you guys, but I've been working on this for a little while, on and off again. So I do like to cross stitch, and it's one of those crafts that, I mean, for me, it's not something I ever take with me. You've got this little needle and little thread, and you have to have, for me, I have to have the chart out, and I use colored pencil, and I color in the pattern that I've already stitched. And anyway, for me, it's not a travel project. It's a stay at home, sit on the couch, cross stitch project. But I've made enough progress now that you can actually see what is happening, so I'm going to share it with you. So I started this sometime last year. I think it was in the summer. And it's going to say Home Sweet Home. It's just black, but I bought the pattern off Etsy. And silly me, I didn't write down the designer's name. I'll have to put it in the show notes. But anyway, I bought the pattern off Etsy, and I just got the thread at the store, and it's just black, so it's not complicated. But yeah, I just need to finish the T. There's like a curve down here on the T. There's a little leafy floral accent here, and then the second word, home, down there. And I just put I put painter's tape around the edge to stop it from fraying, because that's what I had. I don't have a fancy Q-snap gadget. It's a gadget. I use a plastic embroidery hoop to put on the fabric to tighten it up to do stitching, and I just put tape around the outside because that's what I've always done, and it works, so why mess with it? But anyway, yeah, I think I'm pulling my stitches too tight, because you can see, there you go, you can see through my X's, you can see the white behind. So I think I'm probably pulling those too tight. See, now back far away, it's not so bad. Anyway, yeah, I need to find a nice wooden embroidery hoop that's the right size to eventually frame this in once I'm finished so I can hang it up in my living room. And yeah, so I've been working on that a little bit. I did, again, it's a good palette cleansing project in between my knitting. And yeah, so we got home from Christmas and I finished the H looked like an N, so I put this whole top part on, and then it didn't have the E. So it looked like it said Nom Sweet. Which could be a whole nother pattern. But yeah, so now it says Home Sweet, and I started the little floral element here, and then ran out of black thread and had to get some more. So now I'm ready to go, start back up on that project, and yeah, I'm excited. It's very basic, but I haven't, can I say cross-stitching? I haven't cross-stitched. I haven't been actively working on a cross-stitch project since I was in undergrad and university, which is a while ago, and I don't want to admit I am still a young person. I am only 31 years old, but I am still kind of like, I can't believe that was like 10 years ago that I was in university. Anyway, yeah, I had made a cross stitch. I didn't make the pattern. I bought a kit and made the whole thing and gave it to my sister for a Christmas present when we were students together. And I haven't dabbled in cross stitch since then. So getting back into it, I wanted something that was going to be easier and faster to complete. I didn't want to, like, I have sweaters and blankets and all these big knitting projects, and I wanted my cross stitch to be not as daunting, because if it's daunting, it's not a palette cleanser. And so, yeah, this is easy, and I love it, and it's fun. Anyway, so I thought I'd share that with you. I do other crafts other than knitting every once in a while. Okay, is that really all that I have? It really is. Yeah, so you guys, I ran like 9 miles in December on the treadmill, which is pretty good considering I was just getting back into it. And yep, 9 miles in December. So I'm loving it. Loving it. Again, oh yeah, let's talk about that. You guys, Christmas happened. I don't know if you know, but Christmas happened. And because we were on the road traveling to see family, I couldn't really keep up with my workouts as well. I was being really good at the beginning of the trip, getting on the treadmill at the hotel, but then 8 hours in the car, and anyway. So I didn't work out as much as I wanted to. I'm happy that I didn't just take the whole week off. I did still manage to get some workouts in there. But I did gain 3 pounds over Christmas, which could have been worse. I did not hold back. I ate cookies, you guys, and I had a second helping of stuffing. And I ate like I wanted to for Christmas. So I did gain some weight, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be for doing a lot of sitting and eating. So that's good. So now I just need to try to take it back off. I put it on and I knew I was going to, and now I just need to take it off. So I'm glad I was able to manage 9 miles in December, considering that I started running on, I think, the 11th, and then the whole last like week and a half of December, it was hard to do much because of the holidays. So I'm happy with myself, and January will be better. All right. So that covers that and all the goodness, and I hope you guys are easing back into normalcy, and hopefully that's a good thing. I like routine, so for me, getting back into a normal schedule is making me happy. But if that is not you, I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's all I have. Awkward goodbye. Yeah. All right. So again, if you have pattern name suggestions for my cowl, comment below. And if I choose your suggested name for the pattern, I will gift you a free pattern of that cowl. That sentence was a struggle. You get what I'm saying though, right? Also, if you would like to be a test knitter for the mittens, the colorwork mittens, just send me a private message on Ravelry. And when I get that pattern written up, I will send that out to you to test. And that's it. That's all I have, you guys. So happy crafting, happy knitting, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!